We've got a couple of big stories we've been following overnight. Madison police are investigating the circumstances that led to an officer shooting and killing a man following a home invasion on the city's east side. News 3's Chris Gothner was on the scene late last night.
This is the scene here on Madison's east side where police say they have shot and killed a man who pointed a weapon at them. Madison Police Chief Mike Koval says it all started with a call to police shortly after 9 last night by a neighbor who lives on Morrison Street.
Seeing someone about chest deep in the water. The person was acting oddly in that they seemed to be talking to themselves and were also subsequently slapping the water. This person was subsequently seen hurling a rock through the homeowner's dwelling.
Then a second call, this time from that homeowner, reporting a burglary. Koval says the first officer arrived on the scene soon after and was told to wait for backup.
As the officer was standing down and waiting for additional units, at the threshold of the door, he was approached by the subject. The subject had in hand what would be, I suppose, from people who own lake homes and stuff, like one of those 4-prong pitchforks.
The chief says that's when the deadly encounter happened.
Officer gave numerous verbals to drop it and to stand where he was. And in fact, in spite of the numerous verbals, this person aggressed in the officer. Officer started to back off, but the person was aggressing and the officer was compelled to shoot him.
Koval says officers tried to revive the man, then medics took him to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. He gave few details on the suspect other than that he was a white man. Chief Koval says we should learn more in the coming days as an outside agency investigates this. On Madison's east side, Chris Gothner, WISC News 3.
And that outside agency is, of course, the state. Madison police have turned the investigation over to the Department of Criminal Investigations. That's in the Department of Justice, all according to state law.
Yeah, it's new state law. News 3 this morning, reporter Eden Sheckles now live from the scene right now. Eden, what can you tell us?
Hi, Adam and Danica. I'm standing outside of Rutledge and Baldwin Streets. This whole area has been blocked off. As you guys can see, police officers are still here, but they have handed off this case. They've handed it off to the Department of Criminal Investigation. Now, Chief Mike Koval was here late last night, soon after the shooting took place. He said that the law requires that an independent law enforcement agency become the primary investigator in a matter like this. The police department is working to preserve the scene and basically freeze witnesses until they can gather their resources.
When they have their forensics people here, we will slowly withdraw and they will slowly take over all of the responsibilities from this point on.
Now, Koval said before the identity of the suspect can be released, his family must be informed. Again, this case is now in the hands of the Department of Criminal Investigation. So from here on out, we are going to hear from them. Reporting on Madison's east side, Eden Sheckles, WISC News 3.
Thank you very much, Eden.